Hey everyone, welcome to our special live presentation. This one is to focus on the newly released 2027 Skidoo lineup. Feel free to ask us about as always you can ask us about other brands. If you do ask us any cat questions though, we're not going to say anything.
Not tonight. No cat chatter tonight.
As Luke always mentions, this segment is sponsored by Skidoo, and we're really happy and thankful to have them on board with us. Without their help, we wouldn't be able to do this presentation for you. So, thank you, Skidoo. Feel free to light it up though and ask us any questions. I know I've been fielding a ton of comments on social media, just like crazy.
So much.
So
yeah, and we have seat time on these products. So last week we were out west. And we got to ride all the new Skidoo products, so we're pretty stoked about that. You can ask us questions about the 600. You can ask us questions about the Scandic or the Tundra.
Well, you can
G5,
even ask us questions about that new E-TEC two-stroke triple that they introduced.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I wish. I don't think that is coming.
There was honestly, the posts were insane. It was mostly that. It was like, where's the triple? Where's the triple?
And you know what's an interesting thing is that I've actually talked to the folks from Skidoo and from Rotax about. I've talked to the guys from Polaris too. I'm like, why don't you bring a triple back when there's this many people asking? Why is it something you don't just do? And they're like, because they're not as clean and efficient. They don't work the same. We can get the power out of two. We don't need the third. And it just doesn't make any sense to do that right now. And I'm like, okay, cool. You guys are engineers. I'm going to take your word on that. There's not really all that much reason. I mean, E-TEC could probably do it because they are so clean.
Oh, sure.
But I have a feeling the other engines, they're like, some of them are just sneaking by or they're using credits to get by.
I don't know. It's funny, Kate, because, social media is my job, everyone. So I'm, responding to everything. I'm reading every comment on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. This, last year, there was no talk of a triple. So I don't know where this originated from. Maybe someone's got some insight there. But this rumor started and it just went nuts this year.
It's because when you start up a triple, one of my favorite old school triples were the ZRTs. I don't care what anybody says about all the other Polaris and Skidoo stuff. You started up a ZRT with triples on it. And I remember walking down into my parents' garage one night, and there was all these guys from an Arctic Cat shop. I think it was guys from D&D or whatever. They had some new stuff. They had Thunderdomes or something like that on this triple in the garage. They'd all been down there like a bunch of crazed maniac, scientists. They rebuilt this motor, did the clutching, did a whole bunch of stuff. Everything was done to it. I opened up the door. I'm 7 years old, and there's smoke billows in like it's a Cheech and Chong movie. And all you hear is this quack, 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 quack. And I'm my eyes are this big. And as a 7-year-old, I'm like, there is something right about this. There is something very, very good. And I stood in there and probably burned a few brain cells from the exhaust that was a little overpowering. But that leaves a lasting impression in my mind. But you know what the cool thing is that I jump on a two-stroke now that's got 180 horsepower, and I go, this is pretty sweet. Yeah. But I mean, the sound of a triple can never be beat.
No, it's amazing. Awesome. It's amazing. Yeah. I'm just astounded at the level of comments about it. It's just a rumor generated. It's hilarious. I love it. Anyways, I'm gonna jump into the comments here. Hey, Mike enjoyed your review of the MXZ Mike. Thank you very much. There seems to be an audio issue. I could kind of hear it. I can hear it when I put my headphones on and watch the segment, and that's probably exactly what it is. It was the mic tucked too far into my jacket, and we just didn't pick it up. So
gotcha.
We'll make sure to address that. Appreciate you commenting though and telling me that you like that. That was a fun one to do.
All right, black and yellow. Yeah, I know. You know what, guys? When it comes to Skidoo, you can get black and yellow, or yellow and black. You're not exactly. So you're not necessarily going to get everything you want. Why is there not more Skidoo colors in the line? We've asked ourselves the same question, but you know what? Their sleds sell pretty good and they're doing okay. Do I think that they should offer a little more coloration? Yeah, it would be nice, especially when you spring check that sled.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool if you had a little more customization. But hey, they're doing 99.9% of things very right now. So that's one thing that's not on point. But
we kind of said this about the mineral blue color that's available for 26, which I always talk about 26 like it's in the past, but we're halfway through our season. Anyways, that mineral blue looks so wicked in the sunlight, like so amazing.
It's an awesome color.
From the photos and the video I've seen so far of that 20th anniversary, it just doesn't do it justice because you're seeing the yellow, and I think everyone's seeing the yellow, but you don't get that it's got a metallic finish to it. And when you get up close, you can see that it is so awesome.
Yeah, it's very nice.
If there's one sitting in a showroom, or they're doing preseason rides or on the tour, go check it out, and feel free to tell me I'm stupid or you don't agree with me, but I like it.
Yeah, it's a good looking. It's a really good looking sled. Okay, so we see a backcountry 900 Turbo R146. I don't think you're going to anytime right away. When's the G6 coming? Great question. I kind of feel like probably in the next couple of years. I don't think it's a long ways off, but I think it's coming soon. And are there any changes to EV Skidoos for 27? We didn't see any of them.
No, didn't see anything.
So I don't think so
in the lineup. No, when you're talking about a new platform, that was a big comment, but I think everyone's just sort of playing catch up from that El Nino winter. It was just a complete bust everywhere and sucked so hard. So the manufacturers are still kind of playing catch up, clearing out their overstock at their dealerships. There are some cool things. I mean, listen, we got a new engine this season from Skidoo, and that's really wicked. I did see a comment. Where was it? Thoughts on the 600RR versus the 650?
That's going to be everybody's thought. It's our thought. We did a shootout last week about it, so you're going to find out our thoughts.
I'm just going to say it right out of the gate. Listen, in my opinion, Skidoo focused on fuel and oil consumption, and the changes are very cool. They're saying it's 130 horsepower.
They're saying it's class leading as well. So they say class leading. Yeah. That's I don't know whether it's class leading or not.
I'll tell you what though, the 650 or 650 is snappier.
So I expected Skidoo to come with a 670 because of the old 670. I was like, bring a 670 HO E-TEC, please. Bring a 670 HO. But here's why they didn't do that. Because to bring a 670 HO E-TEC, they would have had to have completely redone the entire motor. Now, it sounds like they redid the entire motor, but they didn't. They didn't do everything. They went, how can we make a new motor that's more efficient, more horsepower, better throttle response, has a bunch of cool features on it like eco mode and silent stop and all this other good stuff. How can we do all of this while at the same time not increasing the price of the snowmobile next year? And that's what a lot of people are complaining about price. So you know what? If we stop complaining about price, they'll start bringing bigger motors and new stuff. But while we're complaining about price, and everybody is because it's an expensive sport to get into.
Absolutely.
They're going to go, hey, you know what? Let's answer that call. And I honestly, I think if you want like an extra little bit seat of the pants feel, and that's all that you're buying a snowmobile for, well, then your 650 Polaris you are going to be happy with. If you want super high technology, the best fuel efficiency, not by a little bit, by like days, like not by tens of miles, by like probably 50 to 70 miles per tank, you're going to go further on a pick and skid. Maybe not that much, but you know what I mean. It's huge. And oil consumption.
And the oil consumption significantly better.
It's 20% reduced from a 600R, which was already amazing. Like you look at all of these things. If that's what you're into and not paying a cent more next year for it, well, there you go. Skidoo just answered the call. But did they give you the horsepower that's going to make your 650 buddies jealous? No, they didn't.
Well, no, and you know what? This isn't the engine that's going to make, indie guys go, you know what? I got to jump ship. No, but anyone that's going from a 600R up to an RR is going to be impressed. You're going to be impressed with the difference. But like, that's not the only work. Everyone's very focused on the engine and the updates because that's cool and new. But the new E-TEC, that's something I haven't talked to anybody really about. The new E-TEC on the MXZ is awesome, and I found it funny that they went from the softer seat and actually increased the firmness, changed the angle, and
I think I actually sat on it at R&D because I got to do a really cool thing. If you watch the show the past couple of weeks, you get to see that I got to go to the factory and do some pretty cool stuff.
That one aired last week.
Yeah, that's right. And I got to go behind the scenes of a place we didn't even get to show you because they wouldn't let us take cameras into R&D, which was really, really cool. Like I got to see all the dyno rooms and all the stuff that nobody gets to see. It was so cool. But they brought out a seat and they were like, tell us what you think of these seats. And they had some variations of it and they were like, interesting, okay. And asking questions. All the engineers were there. It was really cool. So I think I actually sat on the seat and had some input in maybe how that one came together. It was kind of cool.
Awesome.
We got to sit on it, but the seat's so much better. There's a couple of questions in here that I just saw that I do want to talk about. So yes, it adds 5 horsepower. That's how much it adds to the over the 600R. And auto stop engines with awful starters. You know what? There's a bunch of questions here about auto start stop, this silent stop. Sure. Hey, I don't like it on my pickup truck. Why would I want it on my snowmobile? I honestly thought the same thing that you did. I thought this is goofy. This is a gimmick. This is just something to get people interested in the showroom.
And for the record, I used it. And for the record, I hate it on my truck. I absolutely hate it on my truck. But it actually does work really well on the sled. It's cool. A cool feature, and it's not. Like I hate it on my truck because like when you pull up to a stoplight, it just feels invasive. My motor shuts down. There's zero response when when the light turns green. It bugs me. With this, it's great because it's as long as you're holding the brake lever. It shuts down after like 2-3 seconds. It shuts down, seconds. And then as soon as you let go, it's immediate.
Right there.
It comes back up. Yeah.
Super cool. And it actually is, so me with the camera guys, because we're always coming up to the camera guys, asking them a question, turning the engine off, starting the engine, going and doing it, come back, ask them a question, turn the engine off, start the engine. So we're doing that all the time.
That's a great point.
I found it really beneficial. And I was like, so if I'm stopping, and you're not going to be doing it every 10 seconds. You're going to be doing it when you come to the stop sign, when you come to the next intersection. You just stop quickly. Hey, yeah, you guys good? Everybody's okay? We're good, blah, 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 whatever. Or, man, did you see that corner back there? Or, hey, there was a ditch autograph in that, 3 corners ago. You guys see that? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool, let's go. You let off the brake, boom, it's on, and you're gone. And it's on and gone. It works really good that way. Is it something that you're going to run out and buy a snowmobile because of? No, but Skidoo has the technology to do it. And that's the cool stuff that they do. They do these things because they can. And I think it makes some of the other manufacturers look at it and go, well, that took a lot of technology to do that. But it didn't for them because their engines are so highly technological already. They just go, well, it was like we already had a brake sensor on there. We just had to program the ECU to know that when you hold it for this long, it does this and it responds this. I mean, I'm sure it was harder than that, but it's stuff that they can do so fast.
Yeah, with what they had. And for the record, you can actually turn off the function in your display.
Shut it right
super
down.
Easy, shuts off, and it stays off. So it's not like you shut your sled down and you got to go back in like my truck does, which drives me bananas. But no, this will stay off until you turn it back on. So
have you seen the social media post on the MXZ XRS? Should have been blue and yellow.
1000%
agree with you.
I just saw it. Yeah, I just saw it on our Facebook page.
The 2007 cover of SuperTrax magazine with the blue and yellow Bumblebee hood was me jumping in front of a Piggly Wiggly grocery store somewhere in the UP.
Yeah, it was in Michigan somewhere.
In Michigan somewhere, and it was a Piggly Wiggly grocery store, and I saw a huge snowbank, and I said, hey, let's hit that. And the camera guys pulled out the cameras, and that was like,
the back
and I absolutely agree that they should have one of those. I also saw somebody saying, you've been asking Luke about the 4-piston brake caliper. Maybe they'll listen in 2028. I totally agree, but here's the reality. 4-piston brake caliper costs a bit more. The reason they're not doing it on everything is because they have to have upgrades for the higher end, more expensive packages. That's just the simple answer of it. That's why they're doing it. It is what it is. One of the other cool things that I did see this year that is a accessory for Skidoo is the heated brake lever. That's pretty cool because I run with 1 or 2 fingers on the brake all day, all the time, nonstop. That's why I like heated gloves because I turn them on my left hand just for those 2 fingers being on the brake lever all the time. And I know all the performance guys who ride do that too. I don't drag a brake, don't get me wrong, but always have my fingers there. And yeah, on a minus 25, 30 day, your digits get a little cold. So I found that pretty cool. It's a neat little heated brake lever thing. You can get that, and I think it's backwards compatible on just about everything. So that's pretty cool too. Pretty awesome. All right, maybe AC will do a triple. Maybe they will and shock us all. You're absolutely right. That could happen. Blue and yellow, should have been brought back. You got some other thing on there?
Yeah. The 26 Lynx Commander looks so good. The 27 looks terrible. I disagree. I mean, it's black, man. It's black and white. The thing looks pretty deadly. And they added that new shock, the new center shock. So, I mean, that's an insane shock package on that. Yeah. It's funny. We hung out with the guys from Lynx, and like they totally checked us. We had, AJ did the test ride on that, and we called it. We put it in our utility shootout, which will be coming up in another week or two on the show. Yeah. But it's like they're like, no, this is the ultimate crossover snowmobile in Scandinavia. We go hard, and it's like a 20-inch wide crossover sled. The thing's enormous, but they just rip on it, and it's a cool sled. It's just altogether a really cool sled. So whatever, if it doesn't look the way you want, then Oh, well.
We got somebody here asking if we're going to test anything from the 27 lineup. We have done the testing, but most of that's going to be reserved for next year. But you will see some walkarounds right at the end of this year.
Yeah. So, we got some walkarounds that we're going to be posting, and I'm going to keep doing. I got updates and stuff on social that I'll be doing with the 27 stuff, and we got a bajillion photos.
Yes,
so
lots of
many
good stuff.
photos, like amazing photos. We had a couple good days for shooting, and
it
was me and Dean Spencer, who's kind of taking on my role as camera. Behind the camera, and he did a great job. I was looking at some of his photos here; they're wicked. So we'll get some of those edited, and we'll just keep posting stuff. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited about it.
Is the 600R that much better than the 600R? I definitely think it's that much better than the 600R. I think from a standpoint of we just can't quantify it, seat of the pants. 5 horsepower feels good. 20% better throttle response feels very good. The better sounding engine, really good. The things that we can't quantify based on just the little testing that we did. I mean, we didn't test for a whole season. We didn't test for 2 weeks. We tested for like 5 days. But fuel economy and oil economy, those are the things that to me are, yes, it's way better in that regard. And then it's got these extra features. You can put it in eco mode. You don't have to. You can turn eco mode off. And same with silent stop. It doesn't just turn back on like your car every time you start it. It remembers what you had it saved at. So eco mode isn't always on, but if you need it or if you want it, or if you're out and you're like, hey, I got to go further than I expected today. I didn't bring my link can, and I need to get a little extra mileage out of this sled today. We'll put it in eco mode, and it's going to go a lot further. Yeah. Is it needed? Absolutely not. It's not needed. But Skidoo can do it, so that's pretty cool.
And eco mode's kind of a cool feature because, like, it uses your fuel sparingly, but it responds to throttle reaction, and
so Luke talked to one of the engineers. We have to get back on that one because they told us that it will go right up to 100%.
Oh, okay.
But it won't. Supposedly it goes to 85%.
85 is what I've been seeing. That's what I was told. Yeah. And that's what I'm seeing seeing in the paperwork that I have is 85%. So it'll respond to a throttle input up to and get you power up to 85%, but it still keeps it conservative for fuel.
Yeah. One thing we have been seeing a lot of is no power steering, so no new sled for me. I was looking forward to ordering it for 2027. So power steering is something that is obviously our 858 and our 600 Arctic Cat this year had them on it. It's interesting. Is Skidoo going to respond? They're aware of it. They know about it. I believe they've produced multiple snowmobiles with it on it and tested it.
For sure.
But they're not seeing the demand quite yet, or they don't feel that it's quite up to par. I see the benefits of it on the Arctic Cat. I also see that it still needs some refinement. I would like to see like multi-mode and whatnot. Our 858 at high speed feels a little bit like it's too much input.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to see a little bit of refinement there. And you can be sure that Skidoo's not slouching.
I get it. Like I get the demand because it is an aging demo in the snowmobile industry, and I can say that because I'm older than anyone on the staff here. Except my brother, he's a couple years older than me. But it's one of those things that we saw it in the ATV market, and BRP already has all that technology available. With the tri-mode systems, they got to be working on something. It's just
I know they've tested it for sure. They got multiple models with it on it for sure.
Exactly. But here's the things you have to overcome. You want to overcome the additional weight of the actual EPS module. And you want to control the level of input because that's the issue. It does numb out steering a little bit, but
touring sleds and utility sleds, I can definitely see where the benefit is. It's going to increase the price, so we can't complain about price. If they put power steering on, it's going to cost. Yeah, and I think
that's a huge factor. Too.
I would almost say Skidoo is probably going to wait until a Gen 6 comes out, like a new platform, new chassis. And that may be something that's integral in their utility and their touring snowmobiles. I could see that be like a Gen 6 type thing where they're like, yep, we're just going to run this out. Next sled, there's going to be a place for it where it bolts right on and it's ready to rock. That's something that I'm thinking could happen. I like this question here by Backcountry. I'm not going to say the second half of it.
Where are you seeing that?
He's saying, what's a ditch autograph? So
ditch autograph. That's the one
Ditch autograph is... when you're coming along the trail and you see where somebody tossed it off the side, they blew a corner, they were riding way over their head, and they left a mark in the forest, that's what we call a ditch autograph. So it's, What else we got on here? Is it going to cause engine issues? I don't think so. Starter problems. You know what, guys? I have a feeling that they've tested this 400 billion times on a 600 RR. Is it harder on a starter? I'm sure it's probably harder on a starter if you're using it, 50 times a day. I'm sure it is because you're using it more. But is it going to go out? I don't think. I think they've built it so that it's meant to do this, and it's going to be fine. I have a feeling that we're going to see it on more motors in the future too. I would imagine that we're going to see all this stuff on it. What's this?
I know it's Skidoo chat, but 9R VR1 Dynamics. I mean, pretty awesome, right? I love that sled,
Great
man.
sled.
VR1's wicked, and I mean, how many times have we talked about that? How many times has Luke mentioned it? We're happy to say. I mean, you get all 4 engines, all 4 Patriot 2-stroke engines in the VR1 now, which is awesome. Cool. And it's the only model with dynamics. Yeah. But if you don't choose dynamics, you still get those Walker Evans Velocity 2.0s, and I mean, they're a good shock. That's a good shock patch. 8 clicks of compression adjustability time. It's a decent sled.
No, it is very good. Very good sled. It's a great.
That combo though of a 9R and dynamics is pretty wicked though. I mean, fun. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool offering.
Can I upgrade my 24 Turbo Pro Comp to the new turn-by-turn navigation?
24 Pro Comp turn-by-turn navigation. You mean like
your 24 Skidoo competition package? You can put the navigation on that if it doesn't have it. Absolutely, it's just a plug-in unit under the hood. I did a. I did the
7S. Did you do a 10.25 as well?
Well, that would be the competition package Skidoo, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So you can put that on your Skidoo on a 10.25. Any of them.
No.
I did a Trailside on it.
Oh, you did. You
can look on it on
I remember you doing a 7S update, I think, didn't you?
I put 7S on a SP Polaris. Yep, did the full install of it, but then also on the Skidoo we did a Trailside on that, so you can check that out for sure. If the Freeride could have a mullet decal for the limiter strap, we could have had a Bumblebee on the side panel. I don't disagree. You're right. You're absolutely right. Dudes, if you don't hold the brake lever on for at least 3 seconds while fully stopped, the Skidoo will not shut off. Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
I think that's what we said, right?
Yeah. It's 2 to 3 seconds. You're holding the brake lever, and it doesn't shut off, and then you let your finger off the brake. You have to hold it on, and it stays shut off. And as soon as you let go of the brake,
it's back on.
Comes right back on.
Yep. Polaris says the XCR is 25% stiffer than VR1. Did they ever revert the XCR valving like you guys hoped for? Can you talk about shock valving differences? They didn't change anything.
No, it's the same sled.
By VR1.
Yeah, they stayed with. They stayed with the XCR longtail exactly the way it is. But they gave us the 9R VR1. So there you go.
Just saw the walk around yesterday put out by Do and Polaris. Cool. We got more stuff coming. We got a whole bunch of walk arounds coming.
I know. It's like yesterday was crazy. Like I was just right from the time I was doing stuff before the presentation, then the presentation, then I was just updating and responding to people, and then boom, the next one came, and I actually drove up last night, so I listened to the entire
nice.
Polaris presentation in the car.
Cool. Yeah, awesome.
So it was cool.
I'm happy to be watching a sled show on a Wednesday night. we're happy that you're here, Brad. That's awesome. How bad do you guys want Yamaha to come back? Obviously, we'd love it. I have 0% hope in that happening. So I would love it, but I don't think there's any chance of that happening.
I don't know. Do you want to speculate about that? Let's just imagine.
They're coming back actually with a triple 2-stroke.
They're bringing the 2-stroke triple. It's Yamaha.
Exactly. Yeah. What else we got? I can just about double my fuel economy on a motorcycle if I slow down from 80 miles an hour to 55. Yeah, for sure. And on an E-TEC, if you put it in eco mode, it's going to force you to be able to get that fuel economy. It's a minimum of 5% better fuel economy when you use eco mode. You can go up from there. For sure. If you run half throttle all the way home, you're going to get way better fuel mileage. Definitely. It's just one of those almost like force things where it's like it's not going to let you go full throttle, so you are going to save a minimum of 5%.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it too, so that's cool. Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. The new 2-stroke oil is just for the 600RR. No, it's not. It's not. It's the new Max MAX oil is not for the RR. I know a bunch about this oil now. It is for everything previous as well. So the last new oil that XPS brought out, I believe, was 2009. That's the last time they brought a new oil. This is like the oil to end all oils for Skidoo. It does all E-TECs previous, and it's going to be good for these, 600RR. Is there going to be an 850RR? We haven't seen that question yet.
Actually, no one's even asked that.
That's in my mind. That's my question is, will there be an 850RR? I believe so, because all of these features are going to definitely have to come on it.
Yeah.
They didn't build it just for a 600RR. I'm certain of that. But this oil is going to work for everything that you're going to see in the near future, I'm certain. And yes, do you need to use this oil to get the benefits that they're talking about out of the 600RR motor? Absolutely you do. The old oil is not going to give you the same. Is the old oil going to cause this motor to blow up and explode right away? No, but they did tell us they really want people to use this new oil in the engine. And here's the cool part. It doesn't cost you a cent more. It's the exact same price as the previous oil. They said we're not raising the price on the oil to get people to use it. So if you were buying XPS before, XPS Max is the exact same price for the exact same amount of oil. So why would you not? It's got all this cool stuff called molybdenum. It's spelt really funny. It's got a B and a D close together, and I cannot pronounce it properly. But the moly that's in it is super slippery. It causes the oil to move up the cylinder walls and to like splash around in the crankcase and get everywhere that it needs to and do all the cool stuff that it's supposed to. And then it stays there longer. It burns with less ash. It's super clean and efficient, which is what the E-TECs need. But the reason they can use less oil is because it sticks on all the steel parts and stays there so much better because of this moly stuff. Liquid moly. No, it's not liquid moly. That's a different brand. But you know what I mean. This I'm pretty sure it's probably why liquid moly is called liquid moly.
I'm gonna look it up after this live, and I'm gonna put it in the comments.
It's like MOLYBD.
Someone's probably already on their phone. Someone's gonna respond here. If you're on your phones messing around, just go look that up for us and put it in the comments.
And please tell me that it is
save
hard
AJ.
He's
been struggling with trying to pronounce this word.
It's as hard to pronounce as I think it is, or maybe I'm just needing to go back to school. But
okay, well, I see one. I see the special edition in yellow. In the XRS and comp models gets the Pro 40 integrals, while the same model in black gets the 3-position clicker Pro 40s. Which rides better, or just adjustment diff? So you got your Pro 40 EA3s are a 3-position clicker. The integrals, I think it's like 20.
It's 22. A lot.
It's mega adjustability, but it's what is it?
It's like the Snowcross sled.
Yeah,
shock package
that's actually the shock package that was available on the 600 comp last year.
The one that they used, you can go and take into the cross-country circuit and race because it's homologated, means they make enough of it. So that package, the 600, because it's able to be raced in the cross-country series, came with these same shocks. They're good.
Yeah, they're wicked. Like if you're talking about ease of use, obviously a 3-position clicker is easier to use. It's simpler.
For sure.
But I mean, those integrals are like next level. So if you know what you're doing and you're a tuner and you like doing your own suspension calibration, dude, those are the ones. And if you get those and you're like, oh crap, I'm in over my head, get some help, look online, try to figure that out.
Find the same stretch of trail, run it 400 times in a day. Just dedicate an afternoon to doing that and find out what 2 clicks on high speed, 2 clicks on low speed, 2 clicks on rebound. Find out what those things do. Don't just go out and go, hey, I set them all to full stiff, because it's not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to see the difference, set everything to full soft first and do that run, and then set everything to full stiff.
And something that is interesting and that you guys may want to know is that if you want a 600RR MXZ 20th anniversary edition with a 10.25 gauge, you have to get it with smart shocks. So that is something you're going to look at online. You're going to go, well, how come I can't spec it with a 10.25 and the cool shocks? Mm-hmm. You can't do that. You can't get a 10.25 unless you get smart shocks. We're not sure why. I think maybe that's something where it's like, you can't buy a VR1 without a 7S, so you shouldn't be able to buy an XRS without a 10.25. If you're buying an XRS, you're not worried about the dollar value. I mean, don't get me wrong. You may have a budget, but you're looking at it and you're probably going, just give me the goods.
You kind of want all the, at that point, you kind of want all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, I feel like an X package, if you want to say, okay, you can't get the 10.25 on an X, sure, okay, fine. That's is what it is. But if you want it on the 600 competition,
I think you can.
Got to get smart shocks, and you got to go to 850 if you want it without smart shocks. So, interesting.
Yeah.
There's a Mike Skidmore here is saying only girls need power steering on a Skidoo 2-stroke sled. And you know what? I would have agreed with you. That would have been my thought, where it's like, and I'm not going to say only girls because there's a lot of girls who can rip out there. So no shame against them. I'm a girl dad. So are you.
Yep.
So
girl power.
Yeah, exactly. I don't agree with that comment.
Yeah.
He said put power steering on a model. Or,
Stop
on
being
one model.
sexist, Mike. Jeez. Everyone's going to chase you off the boards like they always do.
Yeah, no.
Cut it out.
I don't agree, but at the same time, I agree that you shouldn't be forced to take it. I'm totally with you there. You don't. I hope that anybody moving forwards doesn't force people to take power steering and say this is the only way you get the sled. I think it should be an option. ATVs. I'm a different. I consider that different. ATVs should have power steering.
The stigma with EPS has changed so much over the years with ATVs.
Like it on an ATV.
It's crazy. It's great. Just gonna jump over to ATVs for a sec. I test rode the new Brute Force 450 last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, it doesn't have EPS, but it's a great value, great sled. And what did they do this year? They introduced it with EPS. And everyone's like, oh, I want EPS on this. It's true. But you know what? It's one of the cool things about EPS is soaking up big bumps and feedback up through the handlebars. That is so key. And I'm telling
really
you,
helps.
I'm telling you, hey, listen, I'm not a young buck anymore, and the next day my body kills. If I do 200K one day and then I got to get up and do 200 the next day. It's
I want power steering.
It's 4 Advils with my coffee first thing in the morning, which
Mike's liver
not feeling
not so
anything.
Good.
No.
With so many choices
already
of
damaged
Skidoo,
enough.
how a person who's been out of riding for 20 years know what to buy, like some power and don't need the fastest. Reliable is key.
Okay.
What sleds for me? Trail ride in New England in any? Is that?
Well, are you?
Yeah. Okay.
Are you So are you looking at Skidoo models? Like, if
I'm going to say Skidoo models.
If you've been out of the market and you're buying new, if you're going to walk into or go online here and spring order something,
I know what I'm telling you to buy.
Go.
600 Adrenaline MXZ 600RR.
Yeah.
Great snowmobile, entry level price. You can go sport even if you want, man. Sport is awesome. The sport is a great sled. If you've been out for 20 years,
600 EFI with 85 horsepower. Actually,
it's an awesome snowmobile.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yep.
If you're saying power isn't I'm not looking for the fastest, I want reliable. That's why I say 600RR, because if you're at that place and you're like, okay, I can spend a little bit more, I want this thing to be super reliable, super efficient, great on oil, go for days on a tank of fuel. The 600RR in the Adrenaline package is an awesome sled. I did a test ride on it for next season. You guys are going to see it. It is a really good product. There's nothing wrong with it. And down the road, if you want to upgrade something, if you're like, well, you know what, steel body shocks 10 years in, they're all blown out and I've ridden through them and I need to change. Well, go to Elka and get a set of shocks for whatever. Get a set of stage 1s that are rebuildable if you want, or get a set of stage 5s if you're like, hey, I really shred with this thing. You got all the options in the world, but you don't have to buy the most premium sled in the world. You don't have to. And that's, we've been telling people that recently. You just don't have to. So, any idea what's different with the new 2-stroke oil? I think it's this moly. You guys are gonna have to.
I'm gonna
we got 2 guys here who did it. Max Anderson and DS
Molybdenum. Molybdenum. Thanks, guys.
Molybdenum.
It's going to be in his head. He's going to be saying it a million times.
I am. I'm going to wake up tonight saying that. Okay. Well, when will the new oil be available at dealers? Great question. I'm not sure, but I imagine not until the 600RR is released.
Probably,
so
yeah.
I'm thinking you're going to be able to get it in the springtime, in the late summer, early fall, I would think.
Yeah, it could be wrong, though. I mean, they might be like that. They just might be like, get it out there and doing their own promotion for it. But yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't have an accurate answer for either. Those are just guesses.
I wish they had a technology to have the cable removed from BRP Go. I don't disagree with you on that. You're absolutely right, because that is definitely something that would be. Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Cody says, hold on a second. Cody says, you guys kick ass. Thank you. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it.
Thank
buddy.
you. Yeah,
you're awesome.
Appreciate
buddy.
you watching.
Yeah.
Okay, on the 24, you have to have the phone plugged in for navigation. New display actually has turn-by-turn GPS without having a phone connected. Oh, sorry. So yes, the new display does have GPS without having your phone connected. It's in there all the time. It's updated. It's got maps. It's there. So you can update your 24. It's like $119 American, $169 Canadian. You pop like the top pod off. Watch my YouTube video. You can do it because it was super simple for me to do it. You literally just plug and play, put the thing back together. There's even a little spot that it clips in under the hood, and you're like, wait, this is already here for this. So they knew it was coming. You plug it in, it's good to go, and you're ready to rock with maps on your 10.25 that was not previously 10.25 mapped. and it has all the other features that come on the new stuff too. So that's pretty cool.
I just want to look at this one. Configurator Online has the Blizzard package Adrenaline at more than an MX ZX. Is this due to in-season versus spring check? It might be. I'm not sure. I don't know what boxes you ticked. It may have been an error in your configuration. The Blizzard does. It is a spring order one, and it does actually have a lot of features on it too. So
I actually think that's right. That the Blizzard pack is more than the MXZ X. I'm pretty sure the Blizzard pack does come with the 10.25. Like it's not a choice. And I think there might be a track. There's a track package too, isn't there? In there, there's something.
I think there's a track package, and I think it might have Pro 36s for all 4 shocks, whereas the MXZX has a 36 plus as the center shock. Which I don't know why. Like, give us all Pro 36 EA3s. That'd be amazing, right? But that might be.
Yes, you can shut it off.
Yeah.
We just jumped down past molybdenum. Hopefully stronger clutch rollers. There was an updated clutch roller. It's got a little red line on it, I believe. I remember we were talking about that.
Sorry, say it again?
I said hopefully stronger clutch rollers. There was an updated clutch roller.
Okay.
Yeah. And I believe it's in all the new ones, but you can also buy them now. There is a slight mark on the roller that you'll be able to see that it is different. Who wants to carry a screwdriver to adjust your shocks? Not, you know what? And that's why it's great. You can have an EA3, so you can get an EA3 if you want it.
Absolutely. There are guys that do carry screw. Yeah, there are guys that want all of that adjustability. Like it's crazy. It was Yanni Tapio. We went out riding with him, and we had to do some trailside maintenance. He pulls like a burlap sack of tools out of his pocket, and it was awesome. He was so proud of this bag of carefully selected tools that he had. It was wicked. So there are guys that carry a screwdriver. If it's not you, EA3s. There you go, buddy.
Yeah, 100%. Will silent stop shut off? This is something that Luke and I actually tested because I wanted to find out if this was the case too. Will silent stop shut off with a hard brake track lock up and not actually stopped? No, and I think it's because that snowmobile. I'm not sure what the deal is. I don't know if it's that it's GPS because it's not on the smaller display, but it does know that you're not fully stopped until you're fully stopped. So it won't turn off while you're still sliding. Trust me, I tried from a high rate of speed. Will the next XPS Max oil work in other sleds? Yes, it will work in the other sleds. It's totally fine. It's backwards compatible, so everything before is totally fine. What out of the 3 brothers prefers? Well, we're not actually brothers. Mike's my cousin. Luke's my brother. And then there's Matt.
Luke's
as well.
my cousin too.
Yeah. This is my brother Daryl. My other brother Daryl. Or crank the field trails with a little brush, like
or
more
the
Southern
3 gyms, right? Everyone knows the 3 gyms from Shoresy. They're awesome.
I'm probably the most who takes stuff out and does some brush riding because I have acreage and I do cut all my own firewood, and I'm like one of those guys who's like, I want 2 years worth of seasoned firewood ready to rock all winter long. I'm that guy who my kids are like, Dad, the house is cold in the morning. And I'm like, well, I'm starting a fire. I'm not turning that furnace on because I don't know why. It's like the bane of my existence is to make sure that I burn firewood and not propane. So, so I'm probably the guy who does more of the bush riding and enjoys doing that with utility sleds too. It's only an expensive sport because consumers keep buying. Well, it wouldn't be a sport at all if they didn't. So, yes, but also,
like if that's your solution is to boycott buying a sled, just get out of snowmobiling entirely. You know what? Get out of it completely. Go get an ATV. They're cheap ATVs, and that's a great sport too. You know, if you follow dirt tracks, of course, go do that. Get out of snowmobiling completely if you don't like it. You know, but you know what? Everyone else has the fever. I get so annoyed at stuff like this. It's like you're not gonna all of a sudden just start boycotting sleds and change the prices. And for the record, there are value sleds in by every manufacturer. The problem is you guys want the VR1 9R with dynamics for the price of,
we
an
do
Indy
too,
200.
but it's not realistic.
That would be awesome, but it's
great.
not going to happen. You have to be realistic with your expectations, and that's just how it is, unfortunately.
It is what it is.
And if those prices are too high for you still, used market.
Yep.
Hit the used market. It's just like, listen, man, trucks are crazy expensive right now. I'm hanging on to mine, and
no kidding.
I'm probably going to buy a used one. If you don't like buying new stuff, get a used one.
Lots of good deals out there.
Yeah, sure.
Mike Skidmore says, I meant to only say girly men need power steering on a cruise. Fair enough.
All right,
You're
Mike.
good. You're good.
You're
back in the good
You're
books.
back in our good books,
We're
man.
good. Any issues on mixing old XPS with new in the tank? No, I don't believe so at all. It's going to be fine. If it's an older sled, no, definitely not. Obviously, if you put a little bit of your old XPS in your new 600RR, like they said, it's not going to blow up. It's just not going to give you the same performance as it would from the other stuff. In 2014, you paid $29 for a gallon of clots. It looks like Lucas is $56 per gallon this year for full synthetic. Definitely. I mean, in 2014, I think I probably paid like $34,000, Canadian, for a pickup truck. And now I can't buy one for like less than 60. So, yeah, it's the way that the world is going. Yamaha's had power steering. Absolutely, they have. Yeah, and lots of people loved it, and lots of people will with the Arctic Cat as well. I mean, we've had some great times with it too on our sleds that we have here. It's good.
Yeah, we got and again we've got the EXT and we've got the 600.
Your family Christmas party must be very entertaining. The work Christmas party is entertaining. It's hard to get a word in edgewise. It's actually next to impossible.
It's funny. None of us talk. We just sit there.
Yeah, we just sit there on our phones.
No.
All right. I've been on an 850 Turbo R comp for the last 3 seasons. Love the handling and the ride. Sometimes wish they were a bit more playful. Should I try a Rave? Should I try a Rave RE 850 TR aggressive trail rider? If you are the most aggressive trail rider, like I'm talking serious aggressive trail rider, if your comp is not enough for you, then absolutely that is 1010%.
That's where you're going.
Yes,
that's
if your comp
the
is
next
not enough.
step, but it's like insanely stiff even on the softest settings. Like it just
I ride that snowmobile on 0 and I could probably jump the office I'm sitting in right now. Literally. And it wouldn't bottom. It'd probably come close, but it probably wouldn't completely bottom. So yes, definitely that is, if your comp isn't enough, that's a good one for you. Is launch control worth the upgrade? Looking at a Renegade X, but can't get it unless you get the bigger screen. Well, launch control is fun.
Launch control it's with the turbo.
It'd be on the turbo R.
Turbo R is fun.
The launch control is fun.
Have a good time with that.
You're going to use it like 4 times a season, but when you do use it, you're going to feel like a boss. You're like, check this out. Blah, 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 blah,
and that's when you'll be using it. So you'll be like, hey, watch me. And then, that's what you'll do.
Yeah.
It's got launch control? Sure it does. Look at this.
Hold my Sprite and watch this.
Yeah. Good Sprite's a good drink.
Okay. If you've tried power steering, you can't say anything. EPS is awesome. Or if you haven't tried power steering, you can't say anything. EPS is awesome. I don't care what people say.
Yeah, you know what? Like this is a thing. There are mixed feelings about EPS even around this office. And you know, I don't think it's for every rider, but hey, if it works for you, dude, it does all the right things. And if it's working for you, go with it, man. Go with it proudly. Who cares? Who cares what anybody else thinks? I know, but that's
Schwartz shots. I totally agree. He bought a 25 Adrenaline 600R after being out of the sport for 10 years, and it's perfect for him and his wife to get back in. 100%.
There you go.
I can be 100% fully happy. This is the business that I'm in. This is what I do for a living. I can be 100% fully happy on an Adrenaline of any level, whether it be the 600, the 850, whatever it is. I can go out and have a great day's ride. I can ride hard. I can ride easy. I went out with my daughter the other day, and I actually gave her, she's got her snowmobile license here in Ontario. She's 14, and we bit off a bit more than I think she thought that we were going to, and we went out for a 172-kilometer trail ride.
Oh, that's wicked,
and
man.
It was her first ride of the season. And and I was like, oh, darn, I forgot this was this far. Yeah. And she rode that sled all day long, and then I can jump on it, and I'll go out for a trail ride with the boys, and I can keep up and have a great time still. Can I outride the shocks? Absolutely I can, for sure.
Yeah.
If you know, but stay tuned, because in like 1 week's time, in fact, the box is right there, I have a little upgrade I'm going to do to an Adrenaline 600R from Elka, just because if you buy that sled and you're like, hey, I've had this for 3 or 4 years, the shocks seem like they're getting a little bit, you know, like used up. What do I do next? Well, I'm going to show you in a week, so stay tuned. 600RR with shot, that would be a great idea.
With 600RR with shot? Yeah.
I think shot on every 2-stroke sled should be an option that you can click. I think you should be able to have that on any 2-stroke Skidoo snowmobile because it's such a cool technology. Yeah, I would love that. Elka, there is much better options. I kind of disagree with you on that one. When it comes to snow, I don't think that there's a whole lot of better options, but hey, I've only tested everything. Sorry, that sounded arrogant, but it's true. There's none that come from the manufacturers that are better than Elka's. I can tell you that right now. And then aftermarket stuff, I wouldn't take a Fox over an Elka.
This one, it's just a comment. I have always had Pro 40s. I've ridden the same sled with Smart Shocks and far prefer the Pro 40s. Good. Get what works for you, dude.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Smart Shocks. So here's my thing on Smart Shocks. I didn't like it at first. I was like, you know what? I don't like that I can't preset some things. I don't like that I don't have too much control over it. I don't like I can't see it on the screen. But what I did find it to be really good on was a Renegade 900 Ace Turbo, 900 Ace Turbo R Renegade. I found that to be the best iteration of Smart Shocks on a snowmobile that I have ever experienced. And I have that sled at my house right now, and I rode it that 172 kilometer day all day long and absolutely loved it. And I've rode it a whole bunch more this year, and I rode it a whole bunch last year too when we were out testing in the Midwest. And I love that. I love Smart Shocks in that package. You're not going to get that Renegade XRS with Pro 40s, I don't believe. The Pro 40s are only on certain other ones. So I like it over the Pro 36s. The Pro 40s are a great shock. I'm not going to argue with you there. They're a really good shock, and I like it too. Smart Shocks is for somebody who just wants to, like George Foreman the thing, set it and forget it, and just not have to worry about it and know that it's going to respond and react as you're riding. Pro 40s and EA3s even are for people who want to tune a little bit more. They're for people who want to play with the suspension a bit.
I saw one there I want to see. Can I order an 850 comp without the turbo? I think it's only with the 600RR and the 850 Turbo R. Yeah, for the comp anyways. You can get, if you the solution, you might be the same guy that asked this question on Facebook, but yeah, if you want the 850, you just get the XRS. There's your solution.
Devin 760 said Fred Desjardins, Fred is the coolest guy at Skidoo. Honestly, like awesome dude. I've had dinner with Fred personally, just sat down with him, gone out in Quebec. Last week I was with him, had dinner with him. He's the kind of guy who I can just sit down and talk to for a long time.
Just the nicest guy.
He's like the strong, silent guy. He kind of looks at you and he's thinking and you're like, oh man, he is deep in thought right now. And then he'll ask you something thought-provoking and you're like, you know what? He's actually listening to my... Fred is one of those guys who genuinely takes things in. And there'll be a time down the road and he'll go, remember when you said this? And I'm like, oh, darn, you heard that. He does those things, but then he responds. Fred is the coolest guy. I absolutely, really he's just a great human being. And yeah, he said the XPS 2T Max will be at the dealers late summer, fall. So there we go. I was kind of right.
Skidmore, he says, I think the Skidoo 600 EFI is only 85 horsepower. It should be good economy too. Correct. It is 85 horsepower. So yeah, and I mean that's a great little sled.
Really good sled. The plasma cylinders, walls hold more oil on the cylinder. Yes, absolutely. And that new oil combined with that, they work together just great. I agree. Just test rode a 600 with EPS today, and it was so nice for the short time I rode. Yeah, for sure. And you know what? There's going to be people. Here's the other thing we got to realize. There's a lot of aging people in the snowmobile industry, in the snowmobile world, who they're looking at it and they're going, you know what? I get back from a ride, like I got a fully blown rotator cuff and a partially torn rotator cuff on this side, and I'm not going in for surgery. And I can still go out and handle everything, but do I like on a ride where I'm out cruising with the family or I'm going with my daughter and we're doing 172K and I'm riding at low speed, do I enjoy having something that I can just kind of like, one hand cruise through?
Like that's what it feels like. It's such light steering. Like you're not like gripping the bars and just feeling it the next day.
Now we have the benefit of having like 14 or 17 snowmobiles out there, all brand new, and we get to use them every winter. So we're kind of spoiled in that regard. Are there days where I'll pick a sled with power steering? There are. There's days where I will, and in the future, are there days where I'm going to do that? Yes. And are there people who are in that aging demographic who are looking at snowmobiling going, I hurt too much afterwards. I'm 65, 75 years old. I want to still snowmobile, but it's just too hard on my body. Those people, that is perfect. And that's why I think on 4-stroke snowmobiles, on 2-stroke tourings, on utility sleds, I think it's a great option for people to have. Do I think it should be mandatory? No, I don't. I think it should be an option for you to have. And I believe you're going to see more of it out there because it just makes sense. Yeah.
Are you guys surprised we didn't receive Smart Shocks 2.0 mainly to add the fourth shock if nothing else? I mean, listen, I would love to see that fourth shock.
Yeah.
Would.
I've had a talk with them about this exact thing. Fourth shock, yes, it would be great. On-screen visualization of what the shocks are doing because people love
on
that.
The dynamics.
They love it on their dynamics. And I also think there should be like some user input where you can have like a user definable mode. And you can have it where it's like, okay, well, I want this here and this here and this here. I know that messes with the whole like semi-autonomous system, but I think there should be a little more input. And I also think the shocks should be brighter. I think they should be like bright red,
something to really stand out.
Something that's lit up on there, so you go.
The dynamic shocks are that
orange
cool
color.
look, burnt orange color, and it looks awesome. Yeah, do something cool with the.
Tells your buddy you spent the extra money.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes there's people out there, and yes, this does lead towards snowmobiling being more expensive when people just go out and buy stuff because they're like, I just want the best of the best, even though I don't even know how to use it. But you know what? That keeps me in business, so I'm okay with it. But put the bright color on there, and make people, have something that says I bought the cool shocks. I think that's a good thing. So I think you're going to see that happen in the near future. I think there'll be a visualization screen on there where you can see what the smart shocks are doing, and it gives you a bit more. And knowing Skidoo, they'll probably do something really crazy where the visualization is like, next level cool instead of just a little bar moving or whatever. They'll probably do something.
Yeah, exactly. Take it to the next level for sure. Which would be awesome. Will the heated brake lever fit on other model years?
I believe it's backwards compatible.
Should be, yeah.
I think as long as it's the newer style, like single or.
If you go on the BRP accessory site, it should tell you if it fits your model year. But cool feature though, right? Gotta love that. I thought that was really cool.
Any idea why Skidoo put lower quality adjustability on the Renegades versus the MXZ? Both XRS non-smart shocks. They did 3 clickers on the Rennie and 20 plus on the MXZ. Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's because the MXZ is more of like that trail burner sled where it's like the shorter track. They do consider the Renegade to be more of that, like almost like the touring guy.
Oh,
right?
well,
like that's kind of the.
I think it's like the high miler. They've really changed what the Renegade is. Yeah,
it was supposed to be all 4 strokes, but then they did that. The one is not all 4 strokes.
Yeah, what is it?
The Renegade, not the Enduro, is it?
It's the Enduro.
The Enduro.
Yeah, the Enduro you can get with the 850.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's. And it still has a nice soft seat on it, heated seat. It's got very plush features on it.
Kind of the different buyer from the guy. Those guys traditionally are not the ones who are like, hey, I want 18 clicks of high, low, and rebound. So I think that's why they did that. And they did it on the MXZ because the MXZ is that guy who's like, hey, I want the shorter track. I want the sportier performance of that. I'm okay with the rear end coming out a little bit in the corners and slipping and sliding a bit. So that's... the
Renegade, if anything, that would be a model that could probably see EPS. That said, with the Razor X front suspension and being the way it is right now, it does handle amazingly well. That's
Mike says
sled.
The upper end snowmobiles cost as much as a low end Harley Davidson these days. Definitely, and the motor technology is far more advanced than a Harley Davidson. Those motors are so old school. I mean, you know what? For sure. I think I can have way more fun on a snowmobile than I can on a Harley Davidson any day of the week. I think that's it's a moot comparison to me, but I know that some people really love their Harleys. So I would say if you compared that to like a 600cc RR bullet bike, that's more of a comparison because that's kind of the level. But I get it.
I love this one. No, hear me out. The way they make the low-price sleds is silly. If they made a $4,000 leaf spring sled, they'd sell a lot of sleds. Bring back the Leafs. Well, maybe that'll be the rumor next year. Hey, you guys will give up on triples, and it'll be like bring back leaf springs.
You know what? There's something to be said about that. I don't disagree. If they came out with a sled, maybe not. I mean, 4,000 would be really hard to hit. But if they, these like, so CF Moto. I was just on their website yesterday, looking at some stuff because we do a lot of stuff with CF Moto in the summertime, and we got some more things coming, and they're a cool company who's doing a bunch of big things. But they have this small little. You guys are going to be able to find it before I am because I don't have the internet in front of me. It's like a 125cc little cafe racer motorcycle.
Oh.
It's super cool. It's super cheap. They sell it in like one with a little fairing on it and some really cool colors. It's called not the Pagani. It's a weird name that starts with a P, I think. Anyways, really cool little bike, and they sell them like crazy. People love them. It's like the Honda Groms, and there's another Honda. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the Grom, that sort of thing. These are cool little vehicles that are, I mean, they're not going to do 120 miles an hour. They're not super crazy sporty, but they look really cool. They're smaller. They're entry level. They're cheap. I do think there's something there. I just don't know how we get there because on a snowmobile, it's not like hard surface cement or pavement where 125 cc's can still get you to 80 kilometers an hour. On a snowmobile, if you have 6 inches of heavy wet snow, and a guy like me who weighs 225.
It's a big weight difference.
You're not going to get me with a 250cc single cylinder snowmobile to 80 kilometers an hour in any record amount of time. Like Doc is not coming back from the future. Okay, at that, it's just not happening.
The Indy 200 is a 200.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's
ain't happening. Yeah, and so I think the problem is that it requires, with a motorcycle, like, or a dirt bike. I mean, the frames are cheaper to build. The motors, there's lots of them out there. You know, put cheap parts on, make it happen. It doesn't cost a whole lot. In a snowmobile, it's like, well, we need a whole new chassis. We need a new track for that. We need a new skid frame. We need a new this. We need a new that. It's like, it's just, it's such a different market than the motorcycle market. But I think there is something there about like a lower technology, cheaper sled. The problem being as well is that EPA has strangleheld everybody so much that if you don't have the efficiency from the engine, you can't get it passed.
Yeah.
So that's a problem too.
Yep.
But there is something there. I don't disagree that a cheap one. You know what is cool though? Is the Widescapes. The Widescapes are cheap, and I've heard that the number possibly in the future could be lesser. I think, you know, now that they've been taken over, that they're going to bring them at a lower budget. I don't know what the number is, but I think it's going to be a lot less. And I've seen them in Ontario and Quebec on sale right now for like $4,900. And to me, okay, you're not going to go as fast. It can still go everywhere through the forest. You can do a whole bunch of cool things. A bunch of guys can have a great time on them, and they're $5,000 Canadian. That to me is a whole lot of fun, and that's a different way to enjoy the sport. So I'm interested to see what happens with that product.
Someone here, I've been checking XRS trail models since 2017 every 2 years, and I think I'm on the fence about trying a 9R from Polaris.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I mean, if you get a chance to go ride one, I mean, if you're looking at a VR1 with the 9R, go give it a try. Or if you were to make the change, that would be the change that I would suggest that you make.
Yeah. that would be my suggestion, is that motor, because that's the only one that's going to impress you more.
And I think if you're going to try a 9R and you're switching from an XRS, go with the VR1 and you'll appreciate the handling. And
unless you're in Minnesota and you're jumping the ditch approaches and like, you know, absolutely riding that thing like a bat out of you know where, go for the VR1. You're not going to be disappointed with it.
Out of where, AJ?
Out of that place. Okay. So I think that that would be your right decision if that's what you're looking at doing.
But definitely if you get a chance. Sorry, yeah.
If you go. The guys who go from a Skidoo to a Polaris, who have loved all the efficiency, the clean running engine, the lack of smoke, the engine firing up right away instantly without having to roll it over a few times, you know, the just all the precision refinement and all those things, that's going to be one thing that's going to shock you, because Polarises are kind of like, they're not as refined as the Skidoos. Hey, it's just technology, okay? That's just science. You can't tell me that a Polaris Liberty, right? That's the Liberty Clean
Patriot?
Fire. Patriot engine is as good as a E-TEC when it comes to efficiency or smooth running or any of those things. It's just not. It can't be. It's you know, semi-direct injected to complete direct injected. Those are something that you're going to have to get used to. But if I was going to make the switch, it would be to a 9R, 100%. 10 times out of 10, that is the one that I would go for as well. So you'll love it. It's not a bad snowmobile in any way, shape, or form, but it's going to be different. What else we got? Sorry, I got a bit of a cough right now.
Tell me about the integral shocks. Okay, there's a lot of questions about the integral shocks, and you can do what we can here. Will it be as much better if I am the guy that carries the screwdriver with me, considering a Lynx for the suspension? I have an MX background and stand primarily. Okay, I mean, listen. Okay, just depends. I think it mostly depends on your riding style, what type of conditions you ride in. If you're, like AJ said earlier, if you're going out and you're riding really super duper aggressive trails and your expectations are that, you know, you never ever want to bottom your sled ever, you know, the Lynx is the right sled for you. And there are guys that ride like that. I'm not making funny. I'm being serious. But the difference between the two is significant. I think the integral shocks are already set up way softer than the Lynx suspension. So even on full soft,
says you're coming from an MX background and you stand primarily. So I'm assuming you don't do a ton of trail riding, because standing while you're trail riding is not efficient or fast.
No.
So you must be riding somewhere else, like ditches and
the Lynx ergos might be better for
Lynx will be great if you
anyways.
genuinely snowmobile standing up most of the time. Then you're probably riding exceptionally rough trails, ditches, ungroomed stuff, and a Lynx is that's what Scandinavia does. That's their jam. So the Lynx probably is good. If you're actually out there and you're doing some trail riding, you're sitting down and riding fast, corner to corner, those types of things, and you're still hitting extreme bumps and all those things, and yes, the new shocks from Skidoo will be great for you, and you come from an MX background, so you know how to adjust clickers with a flat blade screwdriver. So I don't think it'll be out of the ordinary for you. You'll be fine with it.
Okay, so I'm going to address this one. Why at this point ever buy new when you can buy a 2-year-old sled with
from any brand?
Yeah, so you can buy a 2-year-old sled. Yeah, 26K is nuts. Okay, that's great. If that's where you're headed, that's in your mind, go buy used. Just do it. But I'm telling you, there are guys that already have last year's sled or a 2-year-old sled that they can trade in to make that 26. I don't see guys normally just going, I'm going to get into the sport, and the first thing I want to do is drop, nearly 30K on a brand new sled, because that makes total sense. It doesn't. Usually guys that are buying, a high performance machine with, that's worth, between 25 and 30K, have something that they're trading in on it, or they're going to finance. They've been in the sports and the sport, and they have an appreciation for what the technology costs and the expectations. And a guy who's riding, just the regular 3-position clickers, and he's like, you know what, next year I want smart shocks. He knows he's going to pay a little bit more. It doesn't matter. So and if it's not in your budget to buy new, don't buy new, because there is cool used stuff out there for sure.
I had another question on here. Canadians like Alkas. I guess we do. I think a heated brake lever is silly. I ride with one finger on the lever all day, and it's never gotten cold. The heaters on the bars today are so good, I don't see a need for a brake lever.
Awesome.
I ride in -25 regularly. Sometimes it goes to -40. I raced snowcross for 13 years and froze my hands probably a dozen times every single weekend, to the point where, you just put them under your arms and sit there until tears would come down your face, because they're thawing out and it hurts so much. So I probably have bad circulation, but I can tell you at -25, there's not, in my opinion, a ton of heated hot grips that will reach out to the tip of my 2 fingers on a brake lever at -25 when we're doing 80 miles an hour down a lake.
That's a great point.
I mean, the wind chill factor at 80 miles an hour on a lake at -25 is like you're talking about being on the moon. Like, literally, it is so cold, it's ridiculous. If you might have absolutely fantastic circulation, but I know a lot of people who do, like heated gloves nowadays, and use those, because when it gets real cold, especially up here in Ontario, it gets real cold. And then right underneath, then there's people like me who have Renauds, and my fingers will be froze in -5 Celsius weather. So it's good for those who do. Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to have it. You don't have to buy it. That's why it's an option. Again, like used snowmobiles, like accessories, like new snowmobiles, you don't have to buy everything we're talking about.
Totally.
We're just bringing you up to speed on what we've experienced and what we've ridden. So,
is Skidoo ever going to fix the single button heated thumb warmer grips issue? Well,
I don't disagree with you on that. It is more technical than it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, we were riding last week in the Midwest, and I'm ripping along, and I'm doing that thing when I'm riding down the trail, and I'm like, wait, I have to hit this button. I have to look down at the gauge for a couple of seconds to be like, oh, is it right side or left side? Okay, and where was I? Oh, it was right side, so it's my thumb warmer. Where was I at? Okay, go down one. Okay, good. Don't touch the button anymore, because if I click it any more times, it's going to go up or down again, so leave it. Then a couple seconds later, oh, wait, my hand grips are a little bit too warm, so click the button. Wait, am I right side or left? Oh, okay, I got to be on the left side. Okay, now go down one. I don't disagree that it should just be an up or down and make it super simple.
It's one of those things that, like, I think if you do own the sled, it's probably one of those things that's kind of annoying, but you just get used to it. It's like it just becomes second nature.
You're right. Yep.
We're in a situation where we're hopping on everyone else's sleds and trying everything else out, and we know there's a better way to do this. And you know, Skidoo's funny because they'll update their gauge cluster like
all the time.
Like every 2 seasons, you know? Yeah. And yeah, so I bet something's coming. I could see them addressing that.
Yeah, and maybe Gen 6. You might have answered this question already, but what's the seat of the pants feel, I think is what you're asking. Comparison between the 600RR and the Polaris 650. Thanks, love what you guys have to say. Oh, well, thank you. We appreciate you watching. So yeah, we did kind of answer that. Is it as good? Is the seat of the pants feel as good as the 650? I say no, you say no.
I don't think Patriot 650 is snappy, and when we rode, I actually had the opportunity to go back and forth with both for quite a few miles, and immediately I was thinking about it all day. I was like, oh, you know, the 600R feels good. It feels good, but you know, keep an open mind. How's it feeling? And then I got on the 650 later in the afternoon, and I was like, oh, immediately you can tell there's a difference. Like I said earlier, I think the 600RR, Skidoo's focus was on fuel economy and oil consumption and efficiencies, and it does all of that. And it is a 5 horsepower increase.
130 is what they claim.
They're saying a 20% quicker throttle response. Again, I think someone going from a 600R to the RR is going to be happy.
They're going to be happy.
Yeah, but going from a Patriot 650 over to the 600, I don't think they're going to get.
You're not going to performance-wise. You're not going to be as happy. Are you going to notice right away? Now, here's the big argument. Everybody always says, Skidoo guys say, "Well, mine gets, you know, we went to the gas pumps and I took $7 less than you did." That is true, and over a winter, if you ride a lot, if you put on 5,000K a winter or 10,000K a winter, there's some guys out there who do, you're going to save some money based on that, for sure. Your oil efficiency, you're going to save some money there, 100% for sure. At the end of the day, do I think in snowmobiling, people really care all that much about $5 at the gas pump? I don't. So if you're one of those people who does, and that's a concern to you, and you also really love a motor that is buttery smooth, you know, delivery of that power is buttery smooth, is not... I would say the Polaris is a sportier feel. The Skidoo is definitely a more refined feel. Mm-hmm. I think Skidoo could have clutched the 600RR to hit a little harder, and I don't think it would have been a bad thing. Now, they say class-leading horsepower. I don't know what the top end is like because we didn't get a spot where we could really run these two against each other at wide-open throttle, like on a lake where it's safe and legal to do so. We will be doing that this coming winter, and we'll find out. Maybe top end, the 600RR does have some long legs, and it'll pull up to that 650. Seat of the pants feel from down low, definitely the 650 has more squirt. That's what it feels like. So I think that they should have probably clutched that just a little bit more aggressively. I think it could handle just a little bit more aggressive clutching. Is it a Toyota Corolla? No. I know that we called it that we called the 600R that in one of the comparisons. We said it's like reliable like a Toyota Corolla. And I know that Skidoo listened to that comment, and the 600RR is not a Corolla. It is
like you said earlier about Fred remembering things you say.
Yeah, that one he remembered, and so did the team, and I appreciate the fact that they heard that. And this new motor is definitely light years better, absolutely better. I really like it. I'm a fan of it. I think the fact that they're charging you nothing for it, and you're getting all these extra features, and you're getting way better fuel economy, oil economy, efficiencies, everything's better. I think that's amazing. Is it quite as sporty feeling as the 650? No, but you got to remember there's 50 cc's less, and we're only talking like 600 cc's here to 650. So that's not as small of a difference as if you went from an 800 to an 850. You know, like it's a bigger change. So if Skidoo had to come with a 650, you can bet your boots that it would have been like blowing the doors off everybody else and doing all these amazing things. But they didn't do that right now. Do I think in the future they will? I think the 670 has it's got a special place in my heart. I hope it does in theirs, and I hope one day we see that.
Maybe
but
for right now, that they bring back with the blue.
Exactly, but for right now, you're not getting that. You're getting a 600RR, and it's a great motor, and it really does deliver a lot of performance. And we haven't talked much about the exhaust.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It sounds better.
It does. It's got it's got a little bit of a throatier tune.
It's not an Arctic Cat 600. No. The Arctic Cat 600 is the best sounding 600. Yeah, it does. It sounds like a dirt bike. You're right. But it's definitely better sounding. It has more. It's more playful. And they did listen to what we had to say. They did listen to people, and they responded with an engine that does sound better. It does perform better. It feels better. It's more sporty. But it's not gonna. It's just because they did those things. It's not necessarily going to climb that hill of 600 to 650 cc's.
I just want to read this. It would be fun for you guys to go back in time.
Papio, that's what it was. The CF Moto Papio. Sorry. Thank you. That's the one I was thinking
That
of.
was wicked. Okay, it'd be fun for you guys to go back in time and do an old school review of 70s and 80s sleds. That would be fun.
If they'd still run.
That'd be, hey, here's a homework project for all of you. Why don't you just list in the comments section of this video later all the sleds you think we should shoot out from the 70s and 80s. That'd be amazing. And we can pick around. That'd be fun to do.
Yeah. I don't want to be the guy who fixes them all. I've got a 2000 Skidoo.
That is your jam.
I let my kids run around on, and it's enough to keep going. Okay, there was one in here that I saw. Is Polaris making fan-cooled sleds? That's a good question, because really they were kind of at the end of the road there with the fan coolers. They are not making any more new fan-cooled 550s. They have done a large run, I believe, of 25 or 26. I think it's maybe 2026 550 fans, and they have a whole lot of them. And I believe, from what we understand, the dealers are just going to be able to order those sleds, but they're going to look the same. And the truth is, nobody who buys that 550 is going, oh man, this year they didn't change the graphics. They don't care, because they're using them in places where, like, sometimes they'll park them in the middle of a field at the end of winter and then return to it 8 months later when the snow comes back, rope it over and keep going. It's like they just stop wherever it is. A lot of it is northern Canada, Alaska, weird places where they just need a fan cooler. And so Polaris said, we're not going to build those anymore, but we did a huge run of them, so we'll have a lot of stock at the factory and people can just order them as they need. So there will still be 550s, but they will be non-current.
The Polaris 650 is snappier because it uses 30% more gasoline. Just like, you know what? There you go.
You're not wrong.
Be funny, guys. I appreciate that. Yep. I value that.
You have to feed more ponies, so that's not wrong. Oh, the other thing is that the actual RPM on the 600RR goes up by 250.
It goes to 8250. It's 150.
150 more RPM. Yep. So it does rev a little bit higher.
Hold on a second. I did see one. Okay, so I'm going to address this. Why not wait for Kat to do this? The reason we did, and I saw you may have been the same guy that commented on Facebook right before here. The reason is this is a special presentation sponsored by Skidoo. We wanted to get it out of the way right when their embargo lifted. So Kat's isn't till tomorrow. We'll have lots to say about that stuff. Don't worry, we got lots to say about that, and I'll be online answering all your questions and all your comments and stuff like that. But this is a Skidoo presentation, so we're focusing on the Skidoo brand right now.
Would love to see a 90s cross-country comparo with the 440s. Do you remember that? Actually, was this before you were doing much with the old ZR? Was it a ZR cross-country that had it was the reservoir for one of the shocks on the middle of the handlebar? And I remember being at snowcross races and seeing it and finding people who had their helmets broken because they'd come down off of a huge jump, smash their face into the bars, and that threaded preload adjuster, I think it was threaded preload, or no, sorry, threaded, I can't remember what that was for. I can't remember. Was it the front arm shock? Maybe it was the front arm shock. Anyways, that thing would come up, explode the front of their motocross helmet at the snowcross track, and you're like, whoa.
Nicknamed the tooth chipper.
Oh yeah, literally, it was pretty crazy. Anyways, I can't remember which sled that was. Maybe it was a 570. I can't remember, but it was that was interesting. It was a cross country sled from Arctic Cat.
After 4 137 850s, I'm hoping I enjoy the 650 in the Assault. I know they don't make this combination anymore, and I'm assuming it was due to lack of interest. You know what? Assault's a great sled. 650 is a great sled. I did like a couple of 100 miles on actually a 650 Switchback XC, and that's a fun sled.
The 650 engine, in my opinion, at roll-on, at first tip-in of throttle, all the way to like 40 miles an hour, the 850 and the 650 are almost 1-to-1. There's very little difference. It's once you get above that like 50 mile an hour area that the 850 starts to stretch its legs and pulls away. But on a trail, there is nowhere that I need an 850 more than I need a 650 on any tight, twisty trails. I can't ride an 850 faster than I can ride a 650 because the 650 is so snappy and fast.
Sure, absolutely.
You
can
can
trails, it'll hold its own against
100%.
Hold its own against anything.
100%.
Yeah, it's a good engine. Okay, so hold on, guys. We're getting we're well past 8 o'clock here.
Oh, yeah.
So a couple more questions, and we're gonna call it for the night. So just giving you a heads up.
Raised and lowered the front arm shock. That's right. It was front arm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So hold on, there was a question here. What's your thoughts on Skidoo making a Rennie 900T RR? So
Turbo RR.
900 Turbo RR. I don't. You know what? I think what it'd take. I think it would take right now Polaris or Arctic Cat. Arctic Cat putting the big turbo into the Catalyst and having that 200 horse 4-stroke in a lightweight chassis, or Polaris coming out with a turbo 4-stroke that was in that like 180 plus horsepower range for Skidoo to turn it up. Do I think Skidoo can turn it up? Oh yeah, I think they can. If they need to, I think they can crank the horsepower because they really haven't been pressured to do so. Now, with Yamaha exiting and Arctic Cat making the older generation, you know, like the Procross Trask? It's Procross, right? The previous with like the Thundercats and everything. Having that, they don't really need to do anything because when it comes to newer technology snowmobiles with a turbo 4-stroke, they're handily in the lead right now. So I don't think they need to, but do I think they could, and do I think they will in the future if somebody else comes out with something that's a little bit higher? Yeah, I think they can probably just crank that wastegate a little bit and go, hey, that 180 is now 192. It's 195. I think they can do that if they need to. Will they? I don't know. I'm sure that there's programmers out there. You guys can tell me there's probably companies who are making stuff for those things and boosting, 225, 240. Do I recommend doing that? No, it's going to void your warranty, all of those things and whatnot. But do I think Skidoo could do it? Yeah, for sure. So there is the possibility they could do that, I think.
Okay, hold on a second. I want to address the Z versus Z controversy. Okay, because I say both. I always say both. And here's why. I call it an MXZ when it's an MXZ. But if it's an MXZX, it rolls off my tongue easier and it's easier to say. So I call it a ZX, and you get the hard D against the soft D. And that's all.
I say ZR, not ZR.
Same with me.
Yeah, I say ZR.
Yeah, ZR rolls off my tongue easier, and that's why. So yeah, I know. You want us to say Z, you say Z. We're just going to say Z when we want and Z when we want.
You know what? I got in trouble for saying
multicultural men of the world.
I say Yamaha too, and everybody tells me, they're like, it's not Yamaha, it's Yamaha. And I'm like, you know what? If that spoils your breakfast, please go out and ride more snowmobiles and squeeze more throttles and smell more gasoline, because you need to have more joy in your life.
I'm just going to say it incorrectly to bug you. That's just how I am. I'm an agitator.
All right, what else we got on here? Yeah. Why not wait for Cat? Oh, yeah, why not? We answered that. Okay.
Well, why no Renegade with a 146? Because you got a backcountry with the 146. It's not available with a 4-stroke, but I mean...
Hey, I tested one of those.
What? Oh, the Renegade, yeah.
No, the backcountry.
Or sorry, the backcountry,
yeah, with a 600 RR.
Yep, the 600 RR.
Yeah, the test of that'll be next year too. Yep. Really good sled. I enjoyed that one. Torn between a 120 or 1.25 inch 2-ply track over the 1.5 Ice Ripper when ordering the new Comp Turbo right now. I have a 25 with 96 studs with the Ice Ripper 2, but I feel it needs a bit more lug. So 1.5 Ice Ripper is one of my favorite tracks. Besides something I can't talk about right now, wait. But when it comes to Skidoo, if I was going to order that sled, my preference is a 1.5 Ice Ripper. I really like that track. I do like the extra depth. I know on the 2-ply you're looking at it and you're going, hey, this 2-ply track I can stud the crap out of and everything's going to be fine. I get it. I'm a fan of the 1.5 Ice Ripper, and I really like what it delivers. So that's my sled choice, or my track choice if I'm going with that sled, because like you're saying you feel like you need a bit more lug. I don't disagree. And yeah, that's the way that I would go. I like that track quite a bit. So, but yeah, you are kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because you're like, well, do I stud that 1.5 Ice Ripper because it's not like a 2-ply and it's not really like the rating for that? Yeah, it is a bit of a tough one, but the Ice Ripper's a nice track with those pre-studs.
All right, let's draw it down here and pick like one or two choice.
Where can you look at all the options for the new Skidoos? Is there a website? Skidoo.com.
They're all there, I promise.
They're all there right now, all on their website. Go there, check it out. Cool thing is you can spec, click, check, do all your spring order thing, come up with a snowmobile that you love, or see what's just going to be in season as well for next year. So definitely go to their website. And this is something that we're saying, because Skidoo has sponsored this, they wanted us to talk about all of their new sleds and what's coming up and give you guys our opinion based off what we've tested, which we tested a heck of a lot of their stuff last week. So go to their website, check it out, see what they've got. Compare some of the prices from last year to this year. You're going to be shocked because they are doing some good things with pricing. They're very aware that people are asking for snowmobiles to not be terribly more expensive, to not increase in price. So they're doing that. They're not increasing the price. And when you look at a snowmobile from like 2019 to now, the price increase on a base level. Now, I'm not talking premium with all the special stuff, all the fancy stuff, all the extras. A base level entry sled, say like the Sport MXZ or even the Adrenaline package, is almost on par with what we were paying like 6-7 years ago.
That's actually
almost the same
that's
price.
Impressive.
Yeah,
that's
it's
impressive.
almost the same price. So just be aware of that. Yeah. Go to their website, check it out, have a look.
Tomorrow when you're pretending to work, just go online and just build a whole bunch of your own sleds. It's super fun.
Yeah. And I would say, there's one more question at the end that we do have to answer, but definitely don't think that you're forced to buy the best of the best. Give a lesser cost snowmobile. It's not a lesser snowmobile. I've actually said that these sleds, like an Adrenaline, comes with almost everything that the bigger sleds come with. There's just a few little differences. Yeah, 4-piston caliper. I like that brake better. Sure, it's better.
Rack steering.
They have to add these things to make it a bit better, but you will still have a blast on one of these sleds.
Oh, for sure.
So don't always try to spend the most. Go out there and buy the sled that's right for you, that's right for your budget. If that's a used sled, don't feel bad about that either. There's lots of great stuff out there, but if it's a new sled, go check it out and have a look at the different price levels. But there was one more question here. It says, I can't decide between an X-Terrain 900 TR or an Expedition Extreme 900 TR. I like the 20, but the 15 is so nice too. I wish dealers had demos to try in Labrador. For sure, that would be nice if you could.
If you
we were talking about this exact thing right before we went live.
If you like the 20, what about the Commander? Like you consider that as well. That thing is like, man, the Scandinavians, they call that's their high performance crossover sled. Like
I would say that crazy. In that situation, it really depends on what you're doing with this sled. If you are pounding it through the bumps, using up that suspension travel, loading that thing up, and ripping it down the big bumps. I mean, I've been in Labrador and ridden out that way. There are some pretty extreme areas to ride. If you're using up all the suspension travel and you really value having those premium shocks, then the Lynx is going to be the way for you to go. But I do know that the Expedition Extreme is a great sled. We did a test on it last year.
Yeah.
We all loved it. You're going to find out in like a week? Isn't that shootout coming up?
Yeah, I think it's next week. I'm pretty sure it's next week.
Yeah, so you're going to see that sled shot out from this current season. So keep an eye out for that on the show, and you'll see what our opinion is of that sled. But the Expedition Extreme 900 is an awesome sled. So don't count it out. And I'm guessing price on that is probably going to be quite a few bucks ahead. Mm-hmm. So have a look at that and see what you can do. Yeah. Anyways, that is, I think that's the end.
You
right?
close it off, yeah. You go
sorry, I've been going. You wind me up and I'm ready. But it's been awesome to talk with you guys. Thanks for coming out and visiting with us and just asking questions and bouncing things around and being good sports about it. We love doing this stuff. We love that you guys tune in. Thank you for watching what we do. We only get to do what we do because you come out and check us out. So Absolutely. We really appreciate it. And keep tuning into YouTube for more cool content. We're going to be doing this more. Yep. We're going to have buyer's guides for both Polaris and Skidoo coming out in the next couple of weeks where we talk through the entire lineup like we did last year. So make sure you check out those videos, and we're going to give you way more details on all of the sleds from Polaris and Skidoo.
Yep. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, ding the little bell to get all the alerts.
Ring that bell.
And we always appreciate the comments, everyone. Thank you so much, and have a great night.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, everybody. And we'll hit stop now.